What's going on, guys? This is Docs and welcome back to another episode of the Sheffield Wednesday Career Mode. It's episode number 23. Starting today's episode off with the confirmation that Michael Wheeler has indeed broken his toe during our 2-0 win away against Watford. So the boy wonder out for 3 months and won't see him again until I'd say mid to late December at best, but most likely early January. So the real question is now, as our joint top scorer with 5, who is going to play alongside Bailey Cadamarteri? I think to begin with, I will stick Mumba up top, who of course we signed on a free transfer at the start of the season. But I'm willing to give Thea Beamer a go. I'm willing to try Myers there as well. And of course, Lyndon Dykes is probably he is our most senior striker and our most experienced as well. So not against putting him into the first 11 on a regular basis for the first time since we signed him as well. But I think I'll rotate my strikers and see which one seems to be the best fit to play alongside Cadamarteri, because it's not just the player, but it's how they get along with the strike partner as well. So yeah, we need the chemistry. You know, Wheeler and Cadamarteri have a great chemistry. I don't just want a good striker. I want someone who can play alongside Bailey and have a good connection with as well. Because you'll notice that a lot of the goals, the player that gets the goal, either Cadamarteri or Wheeler, oftentimes is assisted by the others. So it's when you have a partnership, like a CB partnership or a central midfielder partnership, or in this case a strike partnership, it's not just having two really good individual players, but you want a really good connection as well. So following that, brief look at the league table. Right now, second place, only behind Leeds United with 6 wins in 9. Brilliant start for the Owls, only 1 defeat so far this season, and 3 more scouting updates as well. And also, Elijah Bennett, who has come into our starting 11 this year as our new left back, has asked for a new contract, and of course I've given him one as well. The young Canadian fullback trying to hold down his place there as Dyer O'Connor is now moving into central midfield or off the bench. I like him. He's pretty decent at left back, and he'll stay here for the long term. Hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, with some quicker growth as well. So first game of today's episode and the first game of the run without Michael Wheeler. Well, I was wondering how Mumba would get on in his absence and how the team would get on missing our talisman up top. Well, Barley did have our first chance of the game. Great save, kept it at 0-0 as we were still deadlocked, and with 16 minutes to play. He scored against me last season and he scored against me again as well. He's a really talented player. Matsuki gives the Saints the lead on the South Coast with just over a quarter of an hour to go. And when you're missing your main source of goals, I guess you can't be too surprised when you don't score one yourself. Yep, final score, Southampton 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. It was a great unbeaten run of 6 games without defeat. And what a shocker. In the first game, without our talisman up top, our run is ended and we lose away at St Mary's. So I knew as soon as I had that first game, I was in for a tough run here without Wheeler up top. So yeah, not looking forward to this run on the back of that loss against Southampton. Following that, we did extend Buckley's contract. He is, of course, also injured right now with a broken toe as well, but he's going to be staying long term too. And for the following game, back at Hillsborough, I'm pleased to be back in Owlerton as well, because we have been so much better at home this season than we have been away. Both of our defeats have come on the road. We are unbeaten at Hillsborough. We've won every single game apart from one here in Sheffield as well. Feeling much more confident even without Wheeler in front of our home crowd. But 40 minutes into the game, well, I could see what we were missing. The creativity was there. We were getting chances just like we did on the South Coast, but I couldn't take them. What a shocker when you're missing your joint top scorer. That can't be much of a surprise. So still 0-0, playing well, 22 minutes on the clock. Could I find a winning goal? Well, as Keanu Dyer slips the ball through, that's what I'm looking for right there. Wonderful little ball inside to release Cadamarteri, and my joint top scorer rolls it across to his strike partner for the night, Brian Thea-Beamer, who I don't really know much about. I said this before, we picked him up mainly for emergency cover. Well, we are in an emergency right now without Michael Wheeler. So chucked him up top, gave him the start, and he got his first goal for the club to make it 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday, deservedly in front, and in 12 before the end of the game. What a way to mark your recent contract extension. Yep, first goal in professional football, at least for us, as we know. Elijah Bennett, the young Canadian fullback, slipped through, takes his chance, and gives us the second goal. So Sheffield Wednesday back on track with a brilliant 2-0 win there at Hillsborough. Not too surprised though, because like I said before, this season at home we have been almost perfect. We've only drawn one game at home all season long. We've won the rest of them. So great 3 points there, even in the absence of the boy wonder up top, Michael Wheeler. So back to winning ways. Great 3 points there. And for the following game, Hull City, last year of course were in the Premier League in this save, relegated right back down to the Championship. Bit of a Yorkshire derby here, taking on Hull in the east side of Yorkshire. Well, we would fall behind 14 minutes here. Mason Burstow with the opening goal. And I was thinking, come on, man, we can't lose for the first time at Hillsborough this season in a Yorkshire derby. Like, come on, we've got to get ourselves back on level terms instantly and flip this script and remain unbeaten at Hillsborough this season. Right from kickoff, Myers finds Keanu Dyer, creates a bit of space down the right-hand side, rolls it into the middle, and it's 2-2 for Brian Fiabima. And I'll say once again, I haven't really got any clue who this guy is. Scout found him on the free agents list. I thought, yeah, I'll take him on emergency cover, and I'm very pleased I have as well, because that's 2-2, and he's filling the gap nicely in the absence of Michael Wheeler. Unfortunately, whilst going forward, we looked really solid. Defensively, we were very fragile indeed, and Hull would restore their lead 10 before the break to make it 2-1. Chris finished into the top corner from Elliot Matazzo. Pierce did get a touch on the ball, but I think it would have been pretty harsh to blame him for that one there. So, yeah, good finish, I'd say. No blame on the goalkeeper. I know sometimes I can be a little overcritical of Pierce. I'm not going to do it this time, but Hull back in front. It's 2-1, and there were 12 minutes to go. They were going for a third, and this time I think I probably can blame Pierce Charles. Yeah, the second one he got a touch, but it was hit with a lot of power. Can't really blame him for it, but for this goal here, Mason Burstow's brace. Oh, Pierce, come on, son. It was straight at you, and he fumbles the ball into the bottom corner. We would have lost the game anyway, don't get me wrong. We were still trailing at that point, but oh, Charles, he's so error-prone. I mean, he makes some brilliant saves, don't get me wrong. And as he is a Sheffield Wednesday Academy graduate, he's really handy to have for that homegrown ruling we're playing with, having to have, at this current point in the save, 4 seasons in, at least 8 players, in our starting 11 that came through the Sheffield Wednesday Academy. But what I'll say is this: if Pierce wasn't a youth academy graduate, would I have given him this much luxury? Like, would he still be here at this point? I don't know. I'll be honest, man. Probably yes, but that's mainly due to our financial situation. But I really need a safer pair of hands long term. So you best believe that I'm monitoring the progress of that giant American goalkeeper we got at the academy last season every single month, and right now he's up 4 in Cincinnati as well, so he's definitely the long-term successor for Pierce Charles, no doubt about that. But following that, we extended 2 contracts for Deshaun Bernard, our highest rated defender at 77 overall, and also Svante Ingelsson, the captain as well, neither of which Sheffield Wednesday Academy graduates, of course, don't forget, so long-term they will need a replacing, but I'd like to keep Ingelsson till retirement. For Bernard, I'm planning to sell him for a big fee either next season or the season afterwards as well. But after that, a goalless draw against West Ham as our struggles in front of goal would continue. Another game where we failed to notch one up, our second in 3. And for the next contest, massive game away at Fratton Park against Portsmouth. Missed a sitter in the first half through Edward Myers, still deadlocked at 0-0, facing the prospect of 3 goalless games in 4. Bailey Cadamarteri says, give me the ball and I'll smack one in and I'll get back on the score sheet and give us a big 3 points as well. This was a huge win away at the very atmospheric Fratton Park. Our form's starting to struggle a little bit, no real surprise in the absence of Michael Wheeler, only picking up the occasional win here and there. That was our second win in 5, but Lord knows I needed that one there. And yes, we've been far better at Hillsborough this season, but I know we got thrashed by Hull at home, but we can't just win at Owlerton. Like we can't just win in the Steel City. We have to be able to win away from Sheffield if we are to stay where we are right now, which is in the playoffs. So it's vital to win your trips on the road. You can't. Obviously you want your home ground to be a fortress. Don't get me wrong, but if you can't pick up wins away, then you're going to struggle, and that's been our problem really this season. At home, again, minus the loss to Hull, we're unbeaten, but away from home, what is it now? 2 wins? 3 wins? It's not enough. You can't just win sporadically if you want to fight for promotion over a 46-game season in the Championship. Same problem in the following game. QPR, 0-0 draw, so another game where we held scoreless. And for the next one, at home against Wrexham, always happier to be back at Hillsborough, but needing to get the job done here and needing to return to winning ways, where recently we haven't been quite as good as we were at the start of the season. No surprise that coincided with the injury of Michael Wheeler. Missed the first chance for his Fante Ingleson, and in 10 before the break would fall behind. I know I've been critical of Charles recently, and probably justifiably so, but there is nothing he could do about that. Banged in, top corner, Wrexham in front, and down a goal as we were heading into the break. 10 after the restart, needing to respond, Chalciku finds Buckley, gets around his man, brilliant bit of strength from Roman Buckley, but Okonkwo makes a fantastic save to keep it at 1-0, and Wrexham still in front, keep it at 1-0, and Wrexham still in front of the game. And this was one of those where, once again, the problems were there for all to see. Since Wheeler's been out, we've still been creating a lot of chances, but the problem is, I simply cannot finish in the absence of the boy Wonder. However, this one was a game where the Arsenal Academy graduate was showing just how good of a young goalkeeper he is. Still down by 1 despite having multiple chances, just couldn't find a breakthrough until we did. 12 to play, Barley Mumba's third of the season since coming in on a free transfer, and man did I need that. One of those games where, as I always say, if you're doing all the right things, just haven't had the breakthrough yet, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Had all the chances, just couldn't finish. I knew at some point I'll get a goal, and we would. 12 to play, back on level terms, and a chance to win it later as well. But Okonkwo once again makes an extraordinary save, denying Cadamarteri, falling one way and then saving it with a trailing arm on the other side. And then as Buckley found Mumba, he found space, and then Okonkwo makes another incredible save and keeps it at 1-1. It was a goalkeeping masterclass from the Hale End Academy graduate, and Wrexham would hold on to a point. So it does mean only one loss at Hillsborough to start the season off. It's still been a really good home campaign thus far, but I don't know how. I was going to say I don't know how I won that game. I do know how I didn't win that game. Okonkwo on absolute flames, and the fans now starting to get a bit restless. Boos at the full-time whistle. First time I've heard it this season, and justifiably so. Our form has been really, really poor. 2 wins in 7 games now, really starting to struggle. Or is it 2 wins in 8? Whatever the case may be, really starting to struggle, and now looking like a shadow of the team we were at the start of this season. And for the following game, on the back of a very brief loan watch there, you might have just seen it, Bennett is indeed up 4 right now at Cincinnati. He's our quickest grower, and thank goodness for that, because I definitely am thinking at some point I need him to come in and start challenging Charles for a number 1 spot. Maybe the reason why he's been a bit complacent is because he's got no competition for that number 1 role. I don't know. But anyway, next game, off to South East London, Millwall away, heading into this game here at the Den, falling behind early, nothing Charles could do about it. Great header from Milo Ivanovic and the Lions in front, but it would be 2 in as many games for Barley Mumba. I know he is listed as a fullback, but as I have said before, his stats allow him to play anywhere, really. He's so versatile. I like him up top, and you can see why. It's his 4th goal of the season, back-to-back goals where back-to-back games where he scores as well. Sheffield Wednesday, back on little turns in the capital, and it was 16 minutes to go. For goodness sake, Piers, what are you doing? Where are you going, son? Seriously, I did not call him to come out there. Storms off his line, gets nowhere near the ball, and Josh Coburn couldn't believe his luck. Free header. All he's got to do is guide it over Charles and into the back of the unguided net. Piers, what are you doing? I did not ask you to come for that, son. So frustrating. Another goalkeeping mistake from Charles. And whilst the one against Hull didn't cost us the game, we were already down in that one there. That was 1 point drop by my keeper. Like, seriously, what is he doing? Don't come for that ball, son. I did not call for you there. So, Lions with a win, 2-1 defeat, massive loss in the capital, and Sheffield Wednesday's slump continues. And for the following game, penultimate one today, back at Hillsborough. Granted, we have been a lot poorer recently in Alderton, but we are still stronger overall this season at home, with only 1 loss here coming against the Tigers. Taking on Stoke City, perfect start. It's 3 in 3 for Barley Mumba. And I said, who's going to start up top alongside Cadamarteri? I've given Brian Fiabima some games. He's got me a couple of goals. Lyndon Dykes has, I think, started once, but also came off the bench in most of my games as well. But much prefer Barley Mumba. He got me the opening goal of the game, but Stoke would level it and leave with a point, courtesy of the South Korean Bae Jun-ho as well. So fans getting restless, like I said, boos at the full-time whistle again. And I'm not surprised, because at the start of the episode, we started off literally right behind behind Leeds at the top of the table in second place. Now we're 11 points behind, 5 to go before the halfway point of this season. We have fallen mightily since the start of the campaign, and now we've gone from being comfortably in an automatic promotion place to clinging on to a playoff place. Our form really has been that bad. So for the final game of today's episode, away at the Rico against Cesc Fabregas's Coventry City, from one great Premier League midfielder in Frank Lampard to another there at Coventry, taking on the Sky Blues, where when it rains it pours, man. 21 minutes in, golden chance to open the scoring. Any other time of the season, and I'm sure I convert that chance. Instead, I hit the post from the 1-on-1, and it's still 0-0. Yet when it rains, it pours. It was lashing down in the Midlands. So it's still tied at 0-0. Good start for Wednesday, though. Looked really good early doors. Just needed a clinical finish, which we have been lacking recently since the Michael Wheeler injury. But Mumba's come in and looked really good, to be fair, and done the best he can in the absence of the boy wonder. Great hold up there, and whilst he doesn't get the goal, he does get the assist for Edward Myers. He had his loan spell at Coventry, of course. Don't forget, it helped him grow so significantly with the overall spike. But I wasn't in the mood to show respect, man. I needed to get myself in front. We did. The relief was there for all to see with Myers fisting the turf. And just after the hour mark, great way to mark the contract extension, Sean Bernard turns in a rebound from a corner and gives us a second goal and what will be a massive win away from home. We don't get many of them, but I'm definitely going to take it. Huge 3 points. Only 3 wins in 10, yes, but in the absence of Wheeler, I knew we were going to struggle, and at the very least, Sheffield Wednesday for now remain in a playoff place. If you'd have offered me that at the start of the season, I would have taken it, especially without 3 months of our best striker. But that will do it for today's episode of the Sheffield Wednesday Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for next one, the FA Cup third round, the opening of the January transfer window, more games in the Championship, and the return of Wheeler as well very soon.